Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Chair Shot Wrestling Podcast. I am Steve O'Mac. I'm here from Moonlight Studios with my co-host, my man, Deano D-Truth.
What is cracking, Stephen? I've been waiting to see that because I haven't seen you in a while and I've missed you a little bit, mate. I'm not going to lie, but life's just going the way, isn't it?
Well, mate, it's been 8 days, right? Which has probably been the longest.
But in this current wrestling climate,
since we started this
8 days is a long time.
Yeah,
8 days is a long time.
This podcast, 8 days has probably been the longest that we've gone without doing one.
Exactly.
So much has happened.
So much
has happened.
So much
feels like we've got a month's worth to talk about.
Yeah.
So, we're going to get into it.
But Steve, before we got to talk about it, let me talk to you. Anyway, guys, we really appreciate all the subscribes, all the likes. But we also know that you may not have time to watch this. So, if you want to just listen to it, we are on Apple Music, we're on Amazon Music, we are on Spotify. But please, guys, any way you can listen to it, help.
And also, Dino, I found this out the other day. We're on Audible.
You're joking.
No.
When did that happen?
I don't know. I was on Audible. I was going to listen to.
We got like some secret manager we don't know about. It's like Paul Heyman.
I was going to listen to like an autobiography. I'm going to find a good autobiography to listen to, like Jim Ross or something like that. And there we were on Audible, and I was like, oh wow, okay,
Yeah.
didn't even know. So yeah, if you like Audible, we're on Audible.
We're here for you guys, all you need. You know what I mean? We're just here for you, whatever you need.
Right, Dino, I think there is only one place to start.
Go for it, Steve-O.
It's the biggest thing that seems like it's happened in WWE for ages and ages. On last night's Monday Night Raw in Chicago, the hometown hero, Chicago-made CM Punk, made his return. It wasn't a big surprise because I think most people thought that being in Chicago, we probably was going to see CM Punk.
Nah, I mean,
but I think the surprise was that this title match that we thought was going to be Cody Rhodes versus Sami Zayn became CM Punk versus Sami Zayn. And mate, WWE pulled the trigger.
Pulled it out of the fucking bag, didn't they?
They pulled the trigger on it and they just went bang.
I mean,
there you go. Have that. CM Punk and new.
I mean, I feel
WWE
fucking
champion.
sorry for Sami Zayn. You know what I mean? Because, as though I've never thought he was a main event, not main event guy, that's wrong. I never thought he's world champion, the guy to be world champion, but he deserved that little title run. And we knew it was going to be short. But, 3 or 4 months, I thought, yeah, fair enough. But 9 days. 9 days is brutal. But that being said, WWE, I think with everything that's going on with wrestling at the minute, there's all this stuff. You got Ospreay going to his hometown, Wembley, fighting for the title. And next month, we're going to be there. I can't wait, Steve-O. I know about you.
It's getting close now, isn't it?
But I feel like WWE have had to up the ante a little bit. And they've had to thought, well, what are we going to do? And they thought, Chicago's coming up. CM Punk hasn't been seen since WrestleMania. So, why don't we let our hometown hero, the second city saint, CM Punk come out and win it? And, what a reaction was. The crowd was fucking electric, wasn't it, Steve-O? It was electric. And it was a great match. It was a great match.
Look, they have this thing that, they compliment the crowds all the time. And especially the ones that we've seen in Europe and stuff like that recently, they have been good crowds. But they're they're still crowds that are very predictable, right? You give them what they want. You give them Roman Reigns and they'll chant OTC, right? You give them Cody Rhodes and they'll chant Cody Rhodes. You give them Obafemi and they'll do the Oberstrut for 10 minutes, right? You bring them, dare I say it, Jey Uso, and you get 15 minutes of yeeting.
Particularly you, Steve. I see you getting excited with the yeeting.
No.
You can't help it. You need to calm down on it.
So those crowds were good, but they only fed off of the stuff that was predictable, right? The stuff that they know that it's like an unwritten contract, isn't it? WWE give them those entrances and they produce the the right reaction. But this was a different crowd. Like this was a real crowd. This was a proper crowd. This was a proper pro wrestling crowd. Like Chicago's one of them places, very few places that you still get these crowds where they're, yeah, they're going to still enjoy a little bit of Obafemi and stuff, but they're not overkill on it. I don't feel like they they're not afraid to steal the show away from WWE, if you know what I mean. They're not afraid to take the show into their own hands and go like, well,
Yeah.
you know, yeah, we like this guy, but actually we're waiting for our boy CM Punk. So
Yeah.
we'll keep reminding you all through the show why we're fucking here. This is why we're here. It ain't to see Jey Uso. you know.
How happy would you have been though, instead of CM Punk? He was like, we got a title match in Chicago, but it's Jey Uso come out and you'd have loved it, wouldn't you? I could tell. You'd have got your little sunglasses out, wouldn't you? Over the moon, wouldn't you?
I would have gone to buy a beer because I would imagine that the queue would have been like at its lowest. So that's my plan. If I'm ever at a WWE event, right, God forbid, if I ever make it back, if I ever make it back to a WWE event, and
you'll be back, mate. They're doing what
that must mean that they must have reduced their prices massively.
Steve-O, I've got to stick up for them a little bit because I know what you're saying, and I've been with you on this journey.
A beer while the yeet goes.
I've been with you on this journey. I'm happy you got me back into AEW because AEW has been fucking phenomenal. Forbidden Door, one of the best pay-per-views I've ever seen. And I say that in my fucking 20 years, 25 years watching wrestling. And it's like one of the best pay-per-views I've ever seen. But WWE have really upped the ante now as well. So it's just like, it's just great. And I'm not going to sit there and be like, oh, I'm AEW because I'm just fucking loving it that I've got all this wrestling to watch. To be honest with you, I don't watch anything else. All I do is work and watch wrestling. That is my life at the minute, to be honest.
Look, mate, we're going to get into this a little bit more, but yeah, I'm absolutely with you, right? First and foremost, let me just clear this up for look. The people know I'm not a Jey Uso man. The people know I'm not a Roman Reigns man, right? But let me tell you something. I am, right, absolutely. When they talk about CM Punk guys, I am a fucking CM Punk guy, right? And I mean, like, from day one, CM Punk. The only reason I'm sitting here in my Batista t-shirt, mate, is because I'm too fat to squeeze into my CM Punk t-shirt. Otherwise, I promise you now, I will be wearing my 2012 CM Punk Best in the World, 400 plus day title run grey t-shirt. If I could fit into it.
I mean, I'll be honest.
Right, 2012 is a long time ago, guys.
I did like Punk, but I was never a big Punk guy.
I was a massive Punk fan.
Probably because he didn't.
And it gave that last night did give me that little vibe again. He did. I know that's what they were going for, and I know people will call me a mark or whatever and go, "Wow, yeah," but look, they got from me like if that's what they was going for, they got it. Right, because I knew that it wasn't a surprise that he was there because I had a feeling that that's what they were setting up. As soon as Cody got taken out the main event, you were like, okay, well, this is going to be CM Punk, right? No doubt about it.
Yeah.
I must admit, I was surprised that they gave him the belt because I was sitting there, and as much as I was enjoying the match and I was into it, I was sort of waiting for the outside interference. I was waiting for something. I was waiting for Gunther, or I was waiting for someone to come down and ruin it. And good on them. No interference.
Great match.
Straight up.
Great match.
1v1. And yeah, we feel sorry for Sammy, but look.
You got to do what you got to do sometimes, though. Business is business, isn't it? And it's like, if AEW's doing all this great stuff and, they're struggling, the word on the street is they're struggling to sell tickets for SummerSlam. So, and it's like, it's cool to play with this Sammy thing, but has he got enough star power? He's nowhere near got enough star power as a CM Punk, has he? For like having a main event to sell tickets, in my opinion,
Yeah. Well, look, I mean, while we're on the subject, mate, let's backtrack to when we spoke 8 days ago, right? We were fresh off the back of Night of Champions and AEW's Forbidden Door. You remember we did the podcast and we were both practically half asleep because, well, I certainly was because I'd been up 24 hours. So let's just have a little chat about what's like, how we've got from that point to where we are now. Sami Zayn wins that belt in Saudi Arabia. As we said, he's from Syria, but he is a practicing Muslim. So he has this massive link with the Middle East. Um, and it felt like a big moment at the time, and it felt like
Yeah,
it
it
was the
did,
right
yeah.
thing to do. Well, look, we both said that we thought that whatever happens with this title run, we had a feeling it was going to be short. We thought perhaps it was going to go from Night of Champions to SummerSlam, and maybe he loses it as quick as then, right? But when you think about this from like a business point of view, what WWE have done is they've kept the Saudi crowd happy, right? They've given them that moment that they wanted maybe 2 years ago. They've done that. They've delivered on that. Now they've got bigger deals that they've done with Saudi. They're going back there with WrestleMania, and
Yeah.
if you're not going to give them that moment at WrestleMania, you had to make sure that you did it on this occasion, because otherwise, Sammy loses that momentum, and that chance may never come around again. So again, it did feel like it was just WWE. And this is not, they haven't been doing this, mate. They haven't been doing this for years. It did feel like they just pulled the trigger and went, right, we're going to make a decision. We're going to do this. We're going to have a moment. And look, I never had a problem with it. Then you come through that. We go into SmackDown, and you've got this whole sort of fallout with Gunther and Aldis having this massive sort of argument, and Gunther's been suspended, and Nick Aldis has been suspended, and you're thinking, okay, like something interesting is happening there. The Gunther characters definitely seems all of a sudden more intense. I mean, where the fuck has that Gunther been? That's the Gunther we want every week. The one that tells Nick Aldis to fuck off, told him he was a shit-fouled wrestler. And that's why.
Do you reckon they're angling for Nick Aldis' return to the ring against Gunther?
I don't know whether they're building it for Aldis versus Gunther or Aldis versus Pierce. Maybe something as crazy as that. But I liked it because it looked real. That little clip that they showed with Gunther getting in his face and really, really laying into him looked real. That is the Gunther that we want. Please, every week, don't take him backwards now. This is the Gunther that we want. So he's out the picture, on the spot. They come up with this Cody versus Jey Uso match. Now, like I said, they've been doing some good things, right? I don't like all of it. I didn't like the fact that Jey Uso lost the final of King of the Ring and then straight away got an opportunity for a number one contenders match, because I'm thinking, well, isn't that what the final of King of the Ring was? That was practically a number one contenders match.
No, I agree.
That you had to earn. And then all of a sudden it was like, oh, Jey lost, but he gets a shot anyway. Like he gets to fight Cody. I'm pleased that Cody won, because it would have made no sense at all to have just put Jey Uso in like back in a title picture after losing the final. It would have made no sense.
It don't make sense to me. They keep putting Jey Uso in the title picture anyway, to be honest.
No.
In my personal opinion, I know it does make sense because it's the TKO, it's the TikTok views, it's the the kids the eating. But for us sickos, as I always say, it's not a bit of me at all. Not a bit of me at all.
So off the back of that match, Cody's got the win, and they announced it that, because Adam Pearce was in charge, that he was the one that said, right, and that title match is going to happen in the main event of Monday Night Raw. Great. AEW have been having title matches on TV recently. It's been going down really well. They've been getting loads and loads of new viewers watching it and going, wow, this is incredible. We love watching title matches. We have woken from their fucking slumber and thought maybe we need to look at this. The opening I really liked of Monday Night Raw. I really liked the angle of how we got from Cody versus Sammy to Sammy versus a mystery wrestler, it happened right at the start, didn't it? Sammy arrived,
brutal as well, wasn't it?
It was kind of like it was his first appearance on Raw, I think, since he won it. So he was kind of doing his whole, oh, thanks very much, guys. Really appreciate it. Cody's there, they're having words straight away. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Gunther just comes in and attacks Cody. I think he went through a table straight away, first of all.
Yeah.
And then Gunther's in Sammy's face, and Sammy looks fucking petrified. I mean, like, you know, Sammy looked like he was looking at Cody thinking, shit. But he looked like he wanted no part of Gunther whatsoever. And Gunther was just so intense and so enraged. And then, I mean, I didn't even see how he got from the table to this car. It looked like he was trying to crawl into the car. I don't know whether he was trying to sort of pull himself up, Cody, or whether he was going to get in the car and drive off. Who knows? And all of a sudden, Gunther just like spots him and boots this door, which smashes into Cody. And then, you know, you've got an instant bit of blood, which I thought was quite good. And it was believable. You know, it was totally, totally believable. It looked like Gunther had just lost his shit and booted a car door into his head. And then they've assessed him and said, right, Cody cannot wrestle tonight. He's got concussion. You know, he can't fight. We've got to find a replacement. And it set it up perfectly. Fucking loved that angle. And again, I know we talk a lot about the Attitude Era, but it just reminded that was exactly the sort of shit that you would have seen week in, week out in the Attitude Era. That's how quickly Monday Night Raw would have started.
Yeah.
Didn't have people fucking prancing about with coffee cups, like, you know.
Was there any yee-ying?
I've just come out my trailer. I'm gonna have a little slow walk. I'm gonna have a look around the arena. None of that. Straight into it. Bang. And who set the tone? Who's been doing that recently on TV? Getting straight into the show before you even have an entrance, before you have a promo. AEW. Straight away, they've been going straight backstage and bang, straight into a hard-hitting angle that sets up the story for the rest of the show.
Moxley alone has been solid for him. I mean, Moxley's the one, isn't he?
And look at the MJF stuff that he's been doing.
MJF, yeah, but Don Perry on our boy.
Yeah, Don Perry.
But it's just like, you know, they all just seem to be at it. And it's like, but like Moxley, for me, if I had to pick one, I would say Moxley with the backstage stuff, you know, with the Death Riders. Because I didn't really rate these Death Riders. And now it's like they've come full turn. And they've got like a Sons of Anarchy sort of vibe to it. And and it's just, you know, it's just cool, isn't it? It's just cool. And yeah. And I honestly think, like, yeah, WWE are starting to stand up and take notice now and say what's going on. I'm not saying that they're a bigger show because they've got a way, as good as they are, they've got a way to go. But high tides raises all ships. And I think there was, yeah.
This is what we've been waiting for, isn't it? We've been waiting for WWE to basically stop being twats and actually acknowledge the fact that AEW have been doing well recently. And stop pretending like they're a company that doesn't exist. And doing this whole thing of like, oh, yeah, you know, yeah, oh, we just refer to them as the competition, but they're not really, right? They are serious competition, right? Because Wembley is outselling SummerSlam. So that tells me that you have got serious competition, right? And certainly the pay-per-view numbers and that the AEW have been doing have been brilliant because their pay-per-view ratings are incredibly.
They've done exactly what WCW done back in the day, where they picked a demographic and they was like, right, we're going to go for the adult male group, you know, and that's exactly what WCW did, and that's what AEW seem to do. They're going for the older male group. You know, they're not bothered about the kids and the TikTok views. Sorry to get, but like, and they're going for us fucking proper wrestling fans, and they've got their fucking like their following, and that's it, and people love it. You know.
But I'm not saying that WWE should go down that route, right? I'm not saying that they should go down and match the product that AEW is and not do the silly stuff for the kids and not do the Danhausen stuff. I'm just saying, give me something. As a long-term WWE fan, don't take away everything that I liked about WWE and just turn it into like some fucking Barney the Dinosaur type show where it's just for kindergarten kids. You know, give me something that I can actually watch, even if it's 25% of the show and I maybe skip through 75% of it. Give me something, right? And they are. To be fair to them, they are. And I do feel I do feel it's off the back of them now seriously appreciating that there is a threat from AEW in terms of taking away those old school WWE fans, because they're the ones that seem to, what I've seen online, mate, what I'm seeing on YouTube, what I'm seeing on X is that it is the
I'm not being funny as
WWE
well.
fans that watched in the Attitude Era. They're the ones that all of a sudden have given AEW
I'm
a
not being
try.
funny
And
though, Steve-O. They're the ones, you know, it's all well and good. Any fucking one can watch Netflix and have a little view. But look at us, our wrestling t-shirts everywhere.
Yeah,
We're the
ones
nerds.
that, yeah.
We're the sickos, you know, that pump some money into them, buying wrestling t-shirts, paying, going to see the live events, you know, merchandise, God name it, you know what I mean? Like, we're the ones that are committed and that are buying, you know, so it's all well and good having this legions and legions of fans. Yeah, how much money you're making off everyone that reviews on Netflix, you know? Like, it's not like having that loyal fan base that AEW are trying to crack down on, you know?
Yeah. Right. Well, mate, so we've done a little bit of what they've done well. Now let's have a little chat about a couple of things that I think that.
Before you get,
Yeah,
I've got to
go on.
say, I really enjoyed, because before we get on negative, the Raw before, because we haven't had a chance to do it, I really enjoyed, and it feels like another move they've done to get the I know desperation is the wrong word, I don't want to go into it, but, you know, they've launched Forbidden Door, and the SummerSlam sales ain't that good, and we said it, we feel like they've pulled the WrestleMania main event, Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns, and they put it on SummerSlam because they're trying to sell tickets. And I fucking loved it. I tell you what, that night, for me, that promo was everything for me. From a 33-year-old man, you know, I was like, you know, in my heyday of wrestling fan and with the Shield and that, and I watched the Shield for a part. You know, Seth Rollins, for all his faults, he sold it so well, you know, and made it say, well, Roman, you know, you may have done this, you may have done that, but you've never done it. You've never got one over on me. But I've got one over on you. What about this? Will I come out on WrestleMania when we cashed in with Brock Lesnar? What about this? And he had such a point. It made you think, shit, as fucking dominant as the OTC has been, he is that fly in the ointment, and he was Seth Rollins. And then Roman sold it well when he said, you know what? I don't want a match with you. I need a match with you. And I love that. And it made me feel like, I can't wait. I can't wait for that now. And I don't care what Steve-O. I know you ain't been a Roman fan, but I'm fucking excited for that. I'll be honest with you. I can't wait.
Right. What I'm going to say is Seth Rollins has cut two really, really good promos 2 weeks running on Monday Night Raw. Okay. And I think we should take a little bit of credit here, Dino, because I believe that we brought this up maybe 3 weeks ago.
Do you think Seth's been listening as well, Tony Khan and that, like?
Maybe
we'll get him a t-shirt, like, yeah, so I've got to get my nephew Callum a t-shirt first. I'll shout out to my nephew.
I apologise.
Yeah, well.
I've been so busy, but I am definitely going to get Chair Shot Wrestling podcast t-shirt out to him.
But yeah, then we'll get one out to Seth for listening.
Printed. But look, we said, did we not, that Seth Rollins needs a gimmick change, otherwise people are going to start getting on his back.
We did.
We're going to start turning on him. Now, when is the last time that you heard Seth Rollins do that stupid fucking laugh that he does, right?
Yeah.
He's dropped that. Has Seth Rollins been coming out wearing his super bright, flashy clothing?
No.
No. Has Seth Rollins been wearing his stupid fucking sunglasses? No. So without changing him to...
He looks cool as fuck, doesn't he, like that?
Mate, he's got a bit of
John Wick hitman.
He said he's got a bit of a John Wick sort of vibe going about him. He's wearing the suit, the black tie, the long coat. It makes him look like a more serious character. We're still doing the silly little chant as he comes in, but I feel like that's something that like we won't want him to phase it out. But I don't think it suits his character. I really don't. I just think that they should just give him a different entrance music and drop that stupid chant, because this is the best Seth Rollins, right? This is the Seth Rollins that...
The visionary, the revolutionary.
Yeah, but I mean, look, and you can come out and you can say that, that's fine, but it doesn't have to be followed by a stupid cackle, right? Like you're the fucking Wicked Witch of the West, does it? Which is what he's been doing. So he's dropped that. He's dropped the bullshit. We're now on to serious Seth Rollins. This is the Seth Rollins that is the great Seth Rollins character. This is a Seth Rollins that I will watch. I have no interest in the other Seth Rollins gimmick whatsoever. Can't stand it. Never did like it. Don't understand how it ever got over in the first place, but it did. this Seth Rollins is a different Seth Rollins. And I get it, mate. I like you know, I had a bit of a break. Obviously, I was watching when the Shield first came on the scene. I saw the chair shot, the original chair shot that Seth Rollins did on Roman Reigns. I saw Seth Rollins win his first world title. I was watching when Seth Rollins was Triple H's guy.
Yeah, the authority, that was great.
So I saw that element of it. I know enough about the background. You know, I missed the Bloodline saga, but hey, you know, that was my choice. I wasn't watching it at that point. Am I interested in this match? Yeah, of course. It feels a little bit rushed. I can't see how anyone can convince me that this was always the plan for SummerSlam. There's absolutely no way that you are giving Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins a 4-week build, right? And a 4-week build where Roman Reigns isn't even on the show. I'm not buying it. You can pretend all you
Feels
want.
a little bit rushed, doesn't it?
They can do an episode of Unreal about it for season 4 and pretend. I'm not buying it, right? This, I'm telling you now, was the WrestleMania main event in Saudi Arabia. They have brought it forwards because they need to sell tickets for SummerSlam. Is it a good thing? Yeah, perhaps because I don't know whether I would have enjoyed a big, long, dragged out storyline, with them just regurgitating all the shit that I already know. So I'm probably more looking forward to the fact that this is a bit of a shorter story and it's simple. Again, you don't have to overcomplicate it. It's simple. Roman's never beat Seth and he needs to. Right, he needs to for his legacy. It's the one thing that he couldn't bear to have a career that finished without a victory over Seth Rollins. There's your story. Don't need to build it. Don't need a 6-month build. Don't need to prat around with Royal Rumbles. Don't need to fuck about with Elimination Chambers. That's your story. Get it done. Main event. And look, and I'm with you, mate. That promo was fantastic between
It
the
was,
two.
wasn't it?
It really was. I mean, I didn't get as excited about last week's Monday Night Raw as you did in terms of the whole show, but I did think that it had a good start and it had a good finish. And sometimes when a show has a good start and a good finish, you forget about some of the shit that went on in the middle, right? The start of that Monday Night Raw, and again, like, this didn't make sense to me. I'm not saying I'm completely happy with it. Am I looking forward to the match? Yes. But Femi comes out. He's won the King of the Ring. He does his whole thing of, I'm the ruler. Now I'm the king. Now I'm going to choose which title I'm going to take, basically. He didn't say challenge. He was just like, I'm winning because that's over, isn't it? That's his character.
Yeah.
He comes out and he's that fucking, he comes across as just being that sort of guy that he says he's going to bash someone up and you go, yeah, you are. You definitely are because I can't see anyone standing up against him.
I like to have Brock Lesnar come out as well, and he's like, I've been watching on TV, you've been talking. Oh, he said he didn't watch on TV. He said, actually, sorry.
He had to rely on
Paul, but I like that, and it was like the sort of like, I'll call you out. And he, it was straight as well, like, because
he
as
don't
he
often
took it
cut
down.
a promo, does he, Brock?
No, and he kicks him.
He did sort of.
He kicks him with the balls, which you think, well, fucking hell, that's how you take a big man down like that.
And he
done the F5. I really liked it, but it's just there's something about that nostalgia that gets me going. That makes me, you know what I mean? It just gets me excited. When Vince used to say, I was here better than Vince.
3 words.
Hell. In a cell. Like, it's just sang about it. 4 words. 4 words, Steve-O. Come on.
Yeah. Look, I can't lie. I am looking forward to the match. It's going to be one of the shorter Hell in a Cells that we've seen, but it does feel like that whole thing of Brock's got a massive history of Hell in a Cell. Ober's never been in one, and we know that Brock's in his hometown. So
Heyman come
there's
out
a lot
and
on the line.
Heyman come out and give some interesting stats on it this week as well. And Raw, he sort of said, you know, it's
Yeah.
the Undertaker's match. He invented it, and
Yeah.
and Brock Lesnar. I didn't even realise. I had to look back here, but he's defeated Undertaker twice.
What was the second? Because I thought exactly the same thing. When he said twice, I thought, hang on a minute. So I remembered the first one vividly, because the first one was the one where Taker got busted, and he
When was that?
pissed.
Was
like,
that when he was the
everywhere.
American Badass gimmick?
That was when, yeah. So that was during Brock's first reign, right? So Brock beat The Rock at SummerSlam, and then he went straight into a main event title program with the American Badass Undertaker. They had a match at whatever the pay-per-view between, whatever the pay-per-view was that followed SummerSlam. They had a match, but it went to it went to a non-decision. It was like a double count out or a double DQ or something like that. And then it went from that to a Hell in a Cell. And yeah, Brock beat him. But the second time, I mean, I'm a little bit, I can't think when that was. But I'm thinking, was it a lot later on? Must have been in Brock's second time round when he came.
Yeah.
And maybe I think it was probably Taker as the dead man.
Yeah.
It might, was it after he'd beat him at WrestleMania? Was it after Brock had already he'd already broken the streak?
It must be, yeah.
I've got to look it up.
Yeah, I was going to say, I went to look it up, but I haven't looked it up, to be honest. But
Yeah. I still think there's a couple of little things, right? The fact that Brock was talking about the promos and saying, look, and I hear you're a good promo. I was never a good promo. That's why I got Paul Heyman in all that business. And, some of the stuff that Heyman was kind of saying about, look, Brock is still this guy. Brock is still the beast. Brock is still he's still like the bar when it comes to those kind of matches. I still got a sneaky suspicion, mate, that we might, I think our prediction is right that we made months ago.
yeah, and it's funny, it's going to happen at SummerSlam because the Paul Heyman.
Got a sneaky feeling.
It's Paul Heyman doing it, but it's Paul Bearer on it. Undertaker's Mankind.
He's looking for a new guy because he's absolutely fucked the vision off, isn't he? I mean,
And it was great, wasn't it, this week when he said, why do you show me something you're worth saying?
Yeah.
And then even when they did with that backstage, the pre of it, he went, bad time, someone died doing right. And Channing Tatum's, a.k.a. Austin Aries, always says. I wish he was Austin Aries. Austin Aries said, oh, yeah. He said, no, not you, her. You know what I mean? That was great.
So it does seem like they're distancing him from this vision thing.
Yeah.
I just think, look, I'm not saying that Ober needs him because Ober clearly has proven that he can come out and cut a good promo. But I just feel like it would be... I feel like almost Heyman needs it.
Yeah.
I feel like Heyman needs... There's only so many times, mate, I can listen to Paul Heyman come down and say, Brock Lesnar. I've been listening to it for 24 years, right? And it's just been overdone. It doesn't make me feel anything anymore when he says it. It doesn't make me feel like, yes, Brock Lesnar. It's been done to death, and he needs a new next big thing. That's what I'm going to say. He needs a new next big thing, and Obafemi is the next big thing. Right. And the other reason why I think this is again, because we discussed this a couple of months ago. There are not enough good heels in WWE at the minute.
No, Obafemi fits that bill, doesn't it?
Right. If he has to be a heel, let him be a heel. Apart from Gunther, who they've only just started now to push in that direction, you need guys to go up against Cody and you need guys to go up against Roman. Otherwise, that is when it gets stale. Right, when you've got a lack of good, credible heels to go up against these guys that they constantly want to put the title on. And even in CM Punk's position, mate, you said it before we started recording. Well, who's Punk going to fight at SummerSlam then?
Yeah, well, no, you're right.
Who? I mean, I sort of said to you I don't know, Cody. It ain't gonna. I can't see Punk fighting a heel character.
No,
SummerSlam.
I agree.
So that just tells me that there is a lack of. So yeah, it would make sense. Look, and we again, we haven't been correct with a lot of these predictions.
No, we're only human. We make mistakes, don't we? But
we have taken a few big. They've made a few big moves, and there's been a few big sort of twists that we didn't see coming. But this one, I don't know. In my gut, I just got a feeling that this would be one of them ones from that series, Unreal, that people would go, my God, Ober's turned heel. That would be a proper fucking shock to the system because of how over he is. It's just, just throwing it out there. But yeah, the bit that I didn't like though, man, I want to ask your opinion on this. What is your opinion on Ober winning King of the Ring, earning a use it or lose it title shot at SummerSlam, and deciding that he don't want to use it in order to fight Brock?
I think it's fucking shit, to be honest. And I feel like, how can I get this out? I feel like, number one, as a man, as Ober, why would he want to give away his title opportunity? 'Cause at the end of the day, he's there to win titles. It's, in boxing, someone wouldn't go, oh, I'm fighting for the heavyweight championship. But, I don't like this guy. Like, let's say Usyk's the champion. Oh, I hate this guy more than I hate Usyk, so I'm not going to fight Usyk. No, you want to win the title. Everyone's there for this. But it's not just that. It's also the fact that I was big, the King of the Ring was such a big tournament in the 90s and the early 2000s. It was massive. It was a big deal to be King of the Ring. And then we had this sort of King of the Ring, in the last 10 years, there's been a few King of the Rings. And it's shit, and it's been shit. It's been lackluster, and it ain't been nothing special. And I thought this stipulation they put in, because we spoke about this on the show, when it was like, well, the Royal Rumble, it's the big tournament, the biggest tournament. It's the biggest tournament. It's the A tournament, yeah? So you're going to go on and fight at WrestleMania, the A pay-per-view. So then you got the B tournament in King of the Ring. You're going to go on and fight for the second biggest, and we talked about this. You got Survivor Series, you got wrong. In my opinion, in your opinion, you agreed, SummerSlam is the second biggest pay-per-view. So it made sense. It's fucking a very prestigious thing that you're not, you win the Royal Rumble, you're fighting in the biggest main event of the year. You win this main event, you win this tournament, you're fighting in the second biggest pay-per-view main event of the year. So it's a fucking big deal. And I feel like they just shit all over it. And it's like, well, it don't even matter now. And what are they going to try? They're going to do it again next year? But it's like, well, Ober didn't even... it's going to be... for us proper wrestling fans, it's going to be in the back of your mind and thinking, well, it was a big deal. He weren't that bothered about it. They need to make it feel more prestigious, where it's like, this Money in the Bank is great. You win it and you can cash in any time. But there's nothing more prestigious because you're going on to WrestleMania, the fucking granddaddy of them all, the showcase of the fucking immortals, you know what I mean? The biggest event. But then you got the biggest event in the summer. They're built for years. All these great events we've had at SummerSlam, all these great matches we've had at SummerSlam. I can't even count. What a legendary pay-per-view, yeah? Dates back from the 90s, yeah? And it's like now, it's like, 80s, yeah? And now it's like, I don't even care. I'm just going to go and have this Hell in a Cell match. No, you should be wanting to go on and win the title at the second biggest pay-per-view of your fucking company, in my opinion. Anyway, rant over. Back to you, Steve-O.
I mean, look, I would love someone from creative to come out and try and sell to wrestling fans that was the plan all along. And
it feels rushed, doesn't it?
But, mate, it was 24 hours after Forbidden Door. And I honestly believe that it was a reaction to the fact that Will Ospreay, I mean, they should have seen that coming, but I think it was a reaction to, number one, how good that pay-per-view was, how solid every match was. Number two, how unbelievable that main event was. And the Meltzer ratings come in, mate. I was a little bit short, but he gave it 5.75.
If it was in Japan, I'm sure it'd have been 7 stars. You know what I mean?
I think it was worth. I'll be honest with you.
I don't like Meltzer. I'll just go out and say this, yeah. There's something about Meltzer that winds me up, yeah. And I get it, he's such a fanboy for all the Japan stuff, yeah. And there's certain matches for me that I don't think there's certain matches like that he didn't give 5 stars for in WWE over the years where I'm like, really? Like, like, really? How can you not? I think like the 8-man in the cell, he didn't give 5 stars for it. And I feel like, he gives anything to fucking Japan and, this or that. And it's like anything that's like that. And I've always felt he's been biased against us. So the Meltzer ratings don't really mean too much for me, but I get like AEW love him because they're little like, hybrid of Japan. But for me, I hate to say it, I'm not a big Meltzer fan. There's loads of times where all the other podcasts I listen to, I think, fucking hell, how didn't you give that 5 stars? That match, like in WWE, like it's always 4.5 stars. He's like trying to like get one over on WWE because they're what I mean. He likes being with the underdog. That's my opinion of Meltzer. I just think, yeah.
Yeah, so as I say, that I personally thought that match was an unbelievable match.
Oh, one of the best matches I've ever seen. It had everything, didn't it?
And
great build as well.
I honestly don't think it's a coincidence that 24 hours after that, WWE have done this massive change of direction. Right, nothing going into Night of Champions was pointing at Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins, or I mean, we sort of felt like Brock Lesnar versus Ober's not a surprise, but what was a surprise is that Ober won King of the Ring, because we were convinced, weren't we, that Brock was going to cost him that King of the Ring final somehow. I was absolutely convinced that Jey Uso was going to win it in the end. I don't think he should have won.
Yeah, I don't
Still
get the
think
whole
it should have
thing.
been someone like Dom. Or again, see, like this is why it didn't make sense to me. I've just remembered, mate. Sorry, it's been I've had this in my head for 8 days. If Seth Rollins was going to face Roman Reigns, why the fuck didn't Seth Rollins just win King of the Ring? Why didn't you have Seth Rollins get through the first round, get through to the final, and then Brock interferes and costs Ober, and Seth wins King of the Ring, and then that would have made sense. Then everyone gets what they want, right? It means that the Hell in a Cell match has got more in it than just a dick kick, which is practically what happened.
Yeah.
And Ober doesn't
I'm
give
with you.
up his
I'm with you.
title
I'm
shot,
with you. It makes more
and
sense.
Seth has earned a shot at Roman.
It makes more sense for both characters,
Seth could
doesn't it?
take what maybe people would have considered a shortcut at the time, and he could have gone after Sammy. But Seth being Seth, with the character, and the storyline being that I own Roman Reigns in one-on-one, I own him. It's him, Roman, that can't beat me. That would have made perfect sense, right? But so that's why I'm convinced that all of this was snap decisions. And I think it happened in between that Saturday and that Monday. And it was
I can't help but agree.
all based around
I can't help but agree, because
ticket
logically
sales.
thinking, it makes sense what you just said, yeah. Logically thinking, 100%.
So, look, how we got there, not a big fan of it. What we have got could be great. Could be great, SummerSlam. The Hell in a Cell could be great. Roman versus Seth could be great. Whatever they do with CM Punk now going in as champion could be great. So all of a sudden, I'm trying to word this right, mate. I'm trying not to be negative, because what they've done is probably the right decision. Although I don't like how they got there, I think they've probably made the right decision, because it's made SummerSlam a lot more interesting.
Yeah, 100%. I'm definitely more interested in
where I
it.
thought it was going to be. So I can't knock it. But the wrestling sort of geek in me doesn't like the nonsensical way that we got there. That's
about storylines,
the best
isn't it?
way.
It comes down to.
That's the best way I can explain it.
It's all about storylines. What it comes down to.
And then, look, there's a couple of other things as well that we haven't spoken about that I'm still enjoying. I'm still enjoying, how over Trick Williams is. It looks like we're going to get Trick Williams versus Carmella Hayes now. That's probably going to be a
Love
SummerSlam
Trick,
match.
can't help it. Trick, daddy, baby.
That could be a good match at SummerSlam. I'm trying to think of what else we've seen sort of materialize. We're definitely getting I'll talk about the match, and then we'll talk about the man, right? That's actually making this match interesting. We're definitely getting the Usos versus Solo Sikoa and LA Knight, right? First of all, how good was Solo Sikoa's promo when he
Crowd were fucking eating it up,
last
weren't they?
week when he was chatting to LA Knight, and he was kind of saying about how I hate the bloodline. I thought that's the best I've ever seen Solo Sikoa.
You know what I could see coming? You know what I can see coming?
Go on.
The classic. Do you remember fucking Ric Flair when he got Sting to help him against the Horseman?
Right.
And then Flair turns on, woo, baby. He turns on him and then they have a fucking beatdown. I could imagine them all turning and beating down.
You think this is like a long setup for the bloodline just to take out LA Knight?
Yeah, I can, yeah.
Yeah, possibly. Look, I mean, do you know what? I'm so chuffed for LA Knight. Over the last 3 weeks, he has come out and the crowd have been so with him and just reminded WWE as to how over this guy was a couple of years ago, and how fucking badly they've treated him, basically. They have shit on LA Knight.
Yeah. And I can't help but think, well, why? Because he's so over, isn't he? And he's got so great, he puts such effort in.
The promo that he had with Seth Rollins, I thought was brilliant. You know, even like his little mocking tone, like when he was doing the thing for Seth and Roman about the brother. Hey, yeah, okay, brother, yeah, you know, I'll have a title shot, brother. You know, he comes across as he's bitter, but he still comes across as being really intense. I think he's been great the last couple of weeks, LA Knight, and I think I feel like he deserves more than this match that's coming up. It's a tag match. It's a tag match at SummerSlam.
Yeah.
But you could be right. This could be Solo.
I could see it. I could see the classic.
Is it a ploy? Yeah.
Yeah, I could see it.
Jacob's definitely still injured, mate. Like the fact that he's doing no in-ring stuff at all tells me that he must have a bad one. It must be it, because otherwise he would be working towards a SummerSlam match now. Surely, I mean they can still U-turn this and have Jacob versus LA Knight, but I don't think they are. I think this is going to be Solo and LA Knight versus the Usos. I don't think Jacob's going to feature at SummerSlam. I think he might. I think he's still injured, which is a real shame because he's been the most interesting bit about the bloodline. While we're on the subject of the bloodline, I was really surprised. And again, this is where I think that a lot of this storyline has just come out the blue. But we were definitely building to something about Jey Uso disappointing Roman Reigns, weren't we? Winning King of the Ring. So not only did he fail to win King of the Ring and take his opportunity with a title shot, he then gets a chance to fight Cody Rhodes and he gets beat again. And there's been no mention of any of it from Roman Reigns whatsoever.
They're building his own, but he hasn't been on the show, has he? So
no, but even when he was on there, when he done the promo with Seth last week, there was nothing. There was no interaction backstage where he sort of said something about Jey, you know, like disappointing him and, you know, hinting about Jacob becoming more of this right-hand man. They've just dropped that. The fucking that storyline has just been dropped completely. So yeah, this is definitely all a reaction to tickets.
100%, I agree.
What else have we got to talk about? Oh, I know what you're going to like. I think Chad Gable's winning the Intercontinental title, SummerSlam.
He deserves it. You know, I love Chad. You know, I think he deserves that little Intercontinental run, and it definitely suits him, doesn't he, being that workhorse champion, you know?
So there's a gauntlet match or something like that they're having, I think, to get the #1 contendership. So I can see Chad Gable winning that gauntlet match. Yeah, and
it makes sense with Penta as well with the luchador stuff he's been doing at the minute, and maybe they tie it in. And is he staying face? Is he turning heel, or is he gonna, you know, have a great match with him and shake hands with him afterwards? You know,
because it feels like at the minute he's come into that mid card.
Yeah.
And I feel like Chad Gable needs to very quickly get to the upper mid card.
Yeah. I think the Intercontinental title's going to elevate him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Definitely.
there's stars that he needs to be facing, there's matches that he needs to be having, that are just a little bit more high profile, in my opinion, than I was going to say Miro, but it's Rusev, isn't it?
Yeah.
Still old habits, W
Oh,
habits.
yeah.
Yeah, he needs to go a little bit of a cut above that. You know, Ethan Page, I like him, but he's not upper mid card.
No, he's not quite there, is it?
Ethan Page is lower mid card, if anything. So
Yeah.
Chad Gable's got to go stepping stone, IC title, and then start fighting. As far as I'm concerned, maybe it's got to be Bron Breakker back in IC title sort of picture.
Well, he's tag champs a minute, isn't it?
No,
And
but
there's
it's
something
just,
coming with a
it's
straight
just
from.
fucking shit. He's clearly not going to get a push
Yeah.
at a world title, so you might as well keep him in and around the IC title. You know, guys of that stature, that's who he should be going up against. Anything else you can think of, mate, that has happened? Like I said, so much has happened in the last 8 days in WWE.
I mean, I think we've covered all the bits, so I'm pretty excited about. But, guys, if there's anything we've missed, please put a comment out and we will cover it on the next show. You know what I mean? We will talk about it like that and we will give our analysis on it. So please, we're eager to, you know, if there's anything we missed, we're only human, you know, we'd like to hear you tell us what else to talk about.
Right. Okay, so we can't possibly finish up the show without having a chat about the AEW main event scene at the moment. As we discussed last week,
It looks like your prediction's going to come right, my friend, by the way, doesn't it?
it's going that way, isn't it?
I thought it, and I thought when he come out, and I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I have to say this, when he come out, and what I loved as well is that we keep talking about that John Moxley, you know, the start stuff. When he handed it, and it made me think of Sons of Anarchy. That's what I thought. When he handed in the badge, you know, like Sons of Anarchy, where it was like the prospects.
Yes.
And then they get added, and then because you had Ratter and Teabag, was it One Sack and that? And then he hands him the fucking, you know, the Reaper. And that's what it was like the owl. That's what it reminded me of Sons of Anarchy. Is like fucking John Moxley's like clay. Sort of like John Moxley's clay, isn't it now? And it's like, you know, he's gone, here, I don't give his hand to everyone. He's handing them the fucking, the badge, you know, like that. It's like Sons of Anarchy, wasn't it? It was just great.
So let's remind ourselves of what's happened, okay? Forbidden Door, the two main things are that Mark Briscoe's team have beaten MJF's team, so therefore Mark Briscoe gets a title shot, and he's executing that title shot on Dynamite.
Can I just say
Will Ospreay beat Swerve and wins the Owen, and we now know that Will Ospreay is going to Wembley in the main event. And that little bit that you was talking about there, mate, that kicked off the very beginning, didn't it, of Dynamite? They went straight into that. And apparently it took place directly after Forbidden Door.
Yeah.
Yeah, go on.
Well, I don't know, the Mark Briscoe thing was a bit weird for me, because it was just like, you know, it's like they had all this big build and you had the match for the title, you know, to forget the championship. And it's just like, he lost the match and it's just over now. And I don't know, it was a bit odd for me, like the whole thing, like, you know what I mean?
I think, I kind of agree a little bit. I think that again, it was just that Tony Khan wants to keep this momentum of having these big matches on Dynamite. I think the other thing that it did achieve was, I think it was more about the story that happened within that cage match, more about the Andrade splitting away from the Don Callis family, because everyone else was in line for the title shot and he was kind of the one that took the back seat. I think maybe that's what Tony Khan was trying to achieve a little bit more, was what happened with the whole Don Callis family storyline, rather than trying to suggest that Mark Briscoe was going to win the title. In a way, it made sense. And I'm going to come back to something else as well, because this is really important. It's about the conditions being put on title matches. And I'll explain what I mean by that in a minute. All right. Coming back to what you were saying about Ospreay and Mox, and Mox has given him the badge, you know, and he done that really cool promo, didn't he? Where he's like, you know, I can see it now. I can see it. And look, you know, and we don't give, like, we had a vote on it, didn't he? He said we had a vote. So it does give you that sort of Sons of Anarchy kind of thing. Like, like we've had a meeting and we're all in agreement that you deserve it. But Ospreay at the time, he didn't know whether he'd accepted it, did you? Because
No.
he looked shocked and he took it. And it was just so great how that then instantly built in to him meeting Kenny Omega in the hallway. And Kenny Omega kind of going, look, I've just come off of a really big win against Zack Sabre Jr. I feel like I'm now in a position where I want to challenge for the title again, but he's still looking at that patch, and he's being nice to Ospreay, but he's really still looking at that thinking,
Yeah.
wow, mate.
And Kenny was nice, mate. He said, look, we're still friends, whatever's going on. But then, like, then Will was a bit, I don't know, Will's like breaking off to be like the sort of heel character. Because then, like, even though Kenny was being cool to him and saying, look, we're still pals, it's all cool. He said, well, just because you've stopped working on yourself, and he put him down, didn't he? And I thought, like,
Yeah. And then, of course, like the guy that ties it all together, MJF just comes out and then just basically he's just like, well, I don't care if I fight you because I've beat you twice. So
a lover's tiff, he said. It's lover's tiff there. This guy,
And he's basically turned around to Will and said, you are going to be facing me at Wembley. What people may think, I am going to be in that main event at Wembley and I am going to beat you in front of your family and your friends because I'm the best, because I am the best wrestler in the world. You two can have that discussion between you, but MJF is putting it at, he is the best wrestler in the world. And I love that as the start of the show, because straight away you're thinking, there's going to be more to this show than just.
And then it comes out strong straight away, because then you have him and Mark Briscoe have the match straight away, straight into it. And it was like, it was great.
And then he beats up on Mark Briscoe at the end, doesn't he? Kenny Omega comes out to make the save. And this is where I'm going to talk about where I feel like the Mark Briscoe story fits in. It's about the conditions that people put on title shots, right? So Kenny Omega wants a title shot. Max is said to him, right, well, what are you going to give as leverage, basically? And this isn't the first time
he likes doing this, doesn't he? He's smart, isn't he? He's just a clever man, isn't he, MJF?
It started way back with the Hangman thing, right? Hangman wanted a title shot. We put that condition on the line that if you lose, you can never face for the championship again. Then we had the conditions with Darby Allin. Darby Allin had the belt, and MJF wanted his rematch, and Darby was like, "No, you got to get some wins. You don't deserve a title shot. What are you going to put up as leverage?" Then you get the hair versus title match, the Mark Briscoe cage match. Again, Mark Briscoe wants a title match. MJF's like, "No, you got to earn it." How are you going to earn it? Well, he's going to earn it by having a cage match, and it's my team versus your team, right? This match with Kenny Omega that we've got tomorrow night, it's the same deal as the Hangman stip. If Kenny doesn't win, Kenny can never face for the AEW World Championship again. And that's where I think the Mark Briscoe story in that has fit in. It's all about this build-up of putting a condition on you earning a title match. Now, I said to you last week, and I thought I was desperate to keep it for the podcast. You pushed me on it.
Have at it.
So this is where I think we're going with this stipulation. I think tomorrow night, Kenny Omega beats MJF, right? I don't know whether he's going to beat him clean. I don't know whether there's going to be a little bit of outside interference, but I think whatever happens, Kenny Omega walks out as AEW World Champion. The next pay-per-view is in Canada, and it's called Redemption. And I think that MJF will get some sort of a rematch. There'll be some sort of a rematch for that belt, and this is what I think is going to happen. I think MJF is going to try and cheat somehow to win that belt back off of Kenny Omega. And the person that stops him from cheating is Hangman. I think we get a Hangman return at Redemption, and he prevents MJF beating his friend, because him and Kenny have got some history, right? They are still good friends. He stops MJF from beating Kenny Omega, not fair, unfairly. And this is where I think the next condition comes in. I think as repayment for that help, Kenny Omega will let MJF into that Wembley match if he drops that condition that Hangman can no longer challenge for the belt.
That's a fucking hell of a call, and it's our triple threat.
And it's a triple threat. It's MJF, it's Kenny Omega, and it's Will Ospreay at Wembley.
Wow.
The 3 biggest guys that you can put in there.
That is a hell of a match, isn't it?
And the condition is...
I've got to be excited thinking about that.
The condition is for MJF to get that match, MJF has to say that Hangman is allowed.
It makes sense. He's helping out his friend,
It just hit me. I was watching. I was just,
and and it's how like Hangman's still a young man and he's still great.
Yeah,
he ain't done yet, and he's still there's still many more titles. How do you get him back in that world title?
And I think that's what this build of the condition on title matches has been building up to, right? Because it makes perfect sense. Because, like I said, Darby's done it. Because MJF's done it with Briscoe. MJF's now done it with Kenny. And I think Kenny's going to spin that round on MJF.
Oh, I like it, Steve-O. I'm happy I waited to hear it live. Oh, that's great.
You heard it here first.
Yep.
I've been right about everything, but I did call quite a while back that I didn't think it was going to be MJF versus Ospreay. It was going to be Kenny Omega. But now I'm thinking, do you know what?
Who knows?
Fuck it. Just do it. Just do the triple threat. They haven't done a triple threat for a title at Wembley either. So this would be something a little bit different. And again, if you want to sell tickets,
boom.
This is tickets. This is bums on seats. Who would not want to go and watch Kenny Omega as the champion coming in at Wembley against MJF, the best that there is in the business at the minute, and Will Ospreay, the hometown hero, trying to win his first world title on British soil? Hey, it's a hell of a story.
Hell of a story, Steve.
It's a hell of a story. And do you know what, mate? You can get tickets for Wembley for as low as just over 20 quid now.
It's crazy.
Right? Yeah, they're going to be the seats right at the back, but it does feel like Tony Khan is kind of going, look, I want to allow families to come and experience this, because if I can get kids to watch AEW, then I've got them long term as fans. And so they're doing all these sort of 4-ticket family packages where you can get 4 tickets for just over 80 quid. I mean, that's insane. That's insane.
Yeah.
To think that you could go with your family and take a couple of kids and watch a main event. Whatever happens, whether it's Kenny and Ospreay, whether it's Ospreay and MJF, whether it's a triple threat, to be able to watch that caliber of main event for like just over 20 quid a ticket is borderline ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, I paid more than that for RevPro tickets last year at Crystal Palace. So, look, they are trying to get a new audience. They are trying to get people to come in. And mate, I can't wait for that. And I can't wait till tomorrow night. I can't wait for Dynamite. I'm probably going to get up and watch it.
Fuck it, now, how good is Beach Break going to be? I mean, talk about it's like a fucking pay-per-view, isn't it? You got my Y2 Jag against Tommaso Ciampa.
Yeah.
They've been building this for like weeks, months now, and it's like, and then you got the Omega against MJ. It's like a pay-per-view.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
It's going to be a good one, mate. And
no wonder everyone keeps up in their game. But it's great to see, isn't it?
Look, this is all we want, isn't it? This is really all we want. Is to, again, we said this a couple of weeks ago. Wouldn't it be great to be able to watch 2 shows that are different products and different in their product as well, but still just delivering and giving you what you want?
Yeah.
Because I honestly, I have felt for the last 6 months, really, I've been so much more interested in AEW, and I've been willing WWE to give me the stories that I want and and it just hasn't happened. They've delivered on a rare occasion, but nowhere near with the consistency that AEW have. And I just want WWE to get back to being that company that now has woken from its slumber and understands that if they do not start pulling their finger out, that they are going to fucking lose some fans that have been 20-year fans, 25-year fans, maybe even longer than that. And once those fans start watching AEW, I'm telling you now, there's no competition, right, as to what they're going to enjoy, because I know, because I'm one of them people. So if you just want to be left with your kid fans, great. But you lose all of that atmosphere in the stadium. I mean, we said, didn't we, that CM Punk Sami Zayn match, that type of atmosphere is like you can't help but watch that and be engrossed in it when you hear that constant noise of a match. And we want that more often. Now, I'm sick of watching WWE and the crowd are not interested in anything that's going on unless it's Roman Reigns walking out or unless it's Yeeting. That's not what I want. I don't want to watch that. I want to see WWE crowds that are into that into whatever the main event of the show is, and into the wrestling side of it, as well as the other stuff that goes on with it. So that's where I
It's
am.
going to be great.
It's been a good week. It's been a good week. Let's put it that way. And I look forward to our next review, mate, because more's going to happen. You know?
This message just keeps getting better and better, and I'm all for it. I'm here for it.
Okay. Well, before we go, just a reminder to hit that like, to hit subscribe.
You know it, guys. Come on.
Make sure that, as Dino said at the start, make sure that you find us on Spotify.
Whatever platform you want to watch on.
On Apple, on Audible. If you don't want to watch it and you just want to pop your earpods in and you want to listen to us talking, you know, anywhere that you can get a podcast, you'll be able to find our podcast. And we are, we're really enjoying what we're doing at the minute, and we're really looking forward to seeing what happens in both companies over the next week. And remember, nobody talks smack like Dino and Steve O'Mac.
And that's D-Truth, baby. Anyway, thanks for listening, guys. Have a good one, yeah? Oh, and by the way, it's coming home.
Maybe.
Coming home. I'm getting excited.